it is Friday the 22nd of April and it is MRI day. I am in an all black outfit. I put a nice baggy t-shirt on because I think last time I got to keep my t-shirt on, but I had to take my bra off because it had metal in it, and I had a white t-shirt on and you could see my nipples through. So she was very nice and gave me a gown, but I'm hoping this time I'm just gonna be able to go on in my clothes. So yeah, I'm just packed up now. It is not until 6:30, but they've asked me to get there for 6:15, so I need to go right now. So let's go and get my MRI done. It only took half an hour. Like, it felt really quick. I feel like maybe even less time than that, I don't know. My appointment was at 6:30. I went in just before and it's now 2 minutes past 7, so yeah, really quick. And I was in a different machine this time, and I didn't have to go all the way in. It was just like my bottom half and my head was kind of out, which was nice because last time it did feel like super claustrophobic. I remember last time having to like hold my breath for a bit and then breathe out and things like that. I didn't have to do any of that this time, so it did feel a lot easier. So I'm having to like lean over because it's so sunny. So yeah, finished 7 o'clock, so I'm gonna head home and I'll pick up my camera again next week when I get the results. There's like a 90% chance that you are wonky, but my usual spot, as you can see, it's so sunny today, so I've had to move somewhere else. But anyway, I am coming back on quite a few days later to let you know how my MRI went and my results. I was basically waiting for my patient letter because it's just easier for me to have that, because when you go into these like appointments, you're so overwhelmed, it can be really difficult to like take in all the information. So I'm now armed with my patient letter and we're going to talk about my MRI results. So the first thing that we found was that there's no deep infiltrating endometriosis, which is really good news. However, they did find that there was some soft tissue thickening around my right ovary, and they weren't sure whether that was endometriosis or scar tissue, but I think given the pain that I am getting on that right side, it's more than likely to be endometriosis. So yeah, that was one thing. It says the rectum and the bladder appear to be normal in my MRI, even though I am experiencing pain in both areas to varying degrees. They can't see any sort of changes, so it could still be that there is endometriosis there, but it's kind of like surface endometriosis. And yeah, there's no deep infiltrating endometriosis in the cul-de-sac, so that is basically between the womb and the back passage, which is great because that's sort of where the pain tended to be. So I was worried that it's been deep infiltrating, but no, there's no sign of deep infiltrating endometriosis in the area. So really good news. Even though, you know, there is pain, it's not deep infiltrating. So it says you're experiencing bladder pain, which is true. And at the moment, given the results, they're unable to determine why that is. However, like I said, endometriosis isn't always like detectable on an MRI, so it could be that there's endometriosis in that area still. And just to tick every box, like I did a urine sample that came back normal, and I did swabs for an infection and that all came back normal. So there's pain there, and it's more than likely to be endometriosis that has returned. It then just goes into talking about the fact that I've got polycystic ovaries, that I'm taking metformin, that I had a miscarriage, and that I've got a lot of anxiety around getting pregnant again. So he has asked me to do the following. So here's the plan. Continue to monitor my cycles. I was concerned that I had a period post miscarriage, but I hadn't yet ovulated, so I need to give it a couple of months, he said, see if I ovulate, and if not, I've been given a prescription for letrozole. So yeah, and I don't even know how I feel about that. Like, it's great that we've got a plan, so if I don't ovulate, I take the letrozole. But again, that's a really scary road that I didn't think I'd have to go down. So I'm crossing all my fingers and toes I'm going to ovulate by myself. But if not, the backup plan is to take medication to induce like a withdrawal bleed, and then I begin the letrozole, and he said that I need to phone him up to let him know when I'm going to start taking the letrozole, and then we'll book in some scans. So that is pending. I haven't yet started taking it, but I've got the prescription, and if I don't ovulate in the next couple of months and I need it, I can start taking it. So that was one positive plan step forward. The next thing that I requested was physio. So I have been to a pelvic physio, but it's on the NHS, and I have seen her twice, and that was once before surgery and then once after surgery. And not long after seeing her the second time, I got pregnant, and I think it was more of like a confidence boost, you know, the fact that they do internal examinations, they check your muscles, they help you to relax them. And I think because I obviously experienced some discomfort, but it wasn't like intense pain like it had been before, I felt a little bit more confident then to go alone, if you know what I mean, and I got pregnant. So I am really keen to make this more of like a regular thing, seeing a pelvic physio, but it just isn't as readily available on the NHS. So I did ask to be referred for private physio, which I am paying for myself, and it just means I can be under somebody's care on my own terms. I can pay to go and see them when I want. So yeah, I have got an appointment booked in with a pelvic physio, which is great. The other thing that he suggested, given my anxiety, is a psychosexual counsellor, and he's given me the name of somebody who specialises in that area if this is something that I want to explore myself. I haven't done any research. I don't really want to get into it in this video, but obviously I've experienced a lot of trauma in terms of, you know, the endometriosis, the miscarriage, and he thought maybe it was an avenue that I could explore. So he's given me some details in case that's something that I want to pursue myself. So it's something that I've like bared in mind. The other thing that I was really concerned about was adenomyosis, and I mentioned this in a previous video, and thank goodness I've had 2 MRIs now, and I've been really worried that maybe they missed it on the first MRI, but they've said that there's no evidence of it, which is really good. So I was really happy with that. So yeah, at the moment, no adenomyosis, so one less thing to worry about. And the other thing that I don't, like, I swear, but I have always been told that I have a uterus that tilts backwards, and I don't know why. Like, I don't know, but anyway, in a letter I remember it said that it tilted forwards, and I was thinking, I know they must have got that wrong. I saw my uterus on the MRI and it tips forward. I'll put the name of it here, but yeah, basically like my bladder was here and my uterus tipped forward. So that was really interesting actually, because I remember when I was pregnant my bladder was in like the most horrendous pain and yeah, it still hasn't gone away. So I don't know, but anyway, my uterus tips forward. Like, who knew? Now I do. So that was interesting to see. I always look tip backwards and it tips forwards. So yeah, that was sort of like game plan number 1. I think given the fact that my MRI doesn't show anything really alarming or anything that they should be too concerned about. Obviously I'm in pain, I've got endometriosis, but I think we both agreed that surgery at this point isn't an option, because I only had surgery in November and I don't want to go down that route again anytime soon. I really want to concentrate on having a baby if that endometriosis isn't causing any kind of like serious damage at the moment. So we decided to concentrate on getting me back ovulating, thinking about trying for another baby. And right at the end of the consultation, he asked me again how long we'd been trying, and I said that I came off contraception in May 2020 and we'd been trying. I'd obviously had one successful pregnancy, but in terms of getting pregnant myself, but then miscarried 9 weeks later. So he actually contacted a consultant, a specialist consultant in reproductive medicine at a different hospital. This will be an NHS hospital, to see, given my circumstances, whether they would get in contact with me to discuss possible fertility treatment. So since COVID, and I guess the IVF list has always been quite long, but even more now since COVID, he was conscious that if we don't do this now, I could try and get pregnant, you know, it's taken a long time, and then we could potentially be waiting like a year to even like get a consultation for fertility treatment. So the plan is to continue trying naturally if I ovulate. If I don't ovulate, then to take the letrozole, and fingers crossed that works, and I'm going to hopefully be put on the NHS list for fertility treatment, and I'll just be sort of in the system and trying until we manage to see a specialist. So really positive. I will be honest in saying, when I left that appointment, I was so happy. I felt like we had a game plan. I was really positive. However, my endometriosis has been really painful recently, and I have really good days and really bad days, and it has been really overwhelming. Really overwhelming actually, and I've had some really like sad days where you've just cried, and I am so thankful that I have got the opportunity to be considered for fertility treatment. But I don't know, like when you think about what is potentially to come and the fact that we could have to go down that route, I find it really overwhelming. When I envisioned getting pregnant, and still now when I envision getting pregnant, I don't see fertility treatment in the equation. Like, you know, if you just listen to your gut, listen to your heart, like I just don't feel like that is our path. So I don't know, I then find the idea of IVF incredibly like overwhelming, and it might be a path that we have to go down, and that's fine, and I will have to come to terms with it obviously at the time if I'm not able to do this naturally myself. But I am really clinging on to the hope that we can do this naturally and that we will have a successful pregnancy next time round. So I am tracking ovulation. That will be my next video, and then we can see sort of what that looks like, whether I do ovulate naturally by myself. Yeah, we start this all over again. We start the try-in all over again. So yeah, that is where we're at the moment. That is the game plan. So don't forget to subscribe to see my next video and see whether I ovulate naturally or whether we're going to start looking at letrozole. And if you've had any experience of letrozole, please leave that in the comments because I'd love to hear. Or I know there's Clomid as well, so yeah, if you've got any experience of taking sort of ovulation inducing medication, please let me know down below because I'd love to hear your experience, or pop me a DM over on Instagram. But I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.